Truck Talk Media.
C10 Talk, episode 290. How about 25 years of C10 clubbing? We got Rene, Kevin, Ace, and John Oro. No rules, no dues.
So that's where it kind of began as a one chapter, one club. I did not really initially want it to be all these chapters and all these, and it wasn't until it just got so big, and it got big fast. The brothers show, we all met up, and it was a huge.
Yes.
We were probably 1/3 of it. It was to a point where the brothers would give us our own first area. We'd go in there first and set up the barbecue and do it. We'd have that first area as you come into the right. And again, more and more people kind of want to be part of it. And they saw what it was. It's, it's the no rules, no dues part of it where we just wanted to have, a good time.
Damn, son.
Hey guys, let me tell you about LMC Truck. Keeping generations on the road. Think about that. It's pretty deep. So whether your truck was handed down or something you went out and bought, odds are you were handed a bunch of paperwork, maybe a folder. In that folder was probably the catalog. You know the one, the most up-to-date and detailed catalog available today. It's like an encyclopedia for our trucks. Their website is just as detailed and informative. lmctruck.com. lmctruck.com. So whether you're restoring old memories or creating new ones, LMC Truck is here to help. They're more than just a parts company. They truly understand the lifestyle and passion of owning a classic truck. So get out there and get to work on your truck and know that LMC is here to help. You can get online, lmctruck.com, and order your free catalog today. Keeping generations on the road. lmctruck.com.
Let me tell you what Melba Toast is packing right here. I've got 411 posi track out back, 750 double pumper, Edelbrock intakes, scored over 30, 11-1 pop-up pistons, turbojet, 390 horsepower. We're talking some bucking muscle.
What does that do? Does that blow your mind? That just happened.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 Truck podcast.
And now I have a chance to be the best, maybe the best in the world.
My old man is a television repairman. Got the ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
I said I got 50 cents in that jukebox, and all I can hear is your mouth flapping. You hear that?
Here's your host, Ronnie Wedge.
What's up? Getting a little back-to-back going here. We just dropped 289 with Ricky and Ellie. Prior to that, we had Driveway Finds. That was a good one as well. So, ironically, we're keeping it all Cali. These three, I didn't really think about it until I'm just saying that. All Cali love, but obviously C10 Club worldwide here. 25 years. Unreal. Unflippin' believable. So I thought, hey, let's get these guys on. Let's talk about the C10 Club, C10 Club worldwide. Let's talk about different things going on. And when you think about going back to the OGs and then everything that's going on currently with really just the clubs throughout the states and the growth and, what we have it's just awesome. It's really, I believe that there's a lot of people that look to the way that things are in the C10 community, and it's chill. So we really are lucky. A lot of really fun events, a lot of different gatherings, and bringing all the people together. Speaking of gatherings, we do talk a little bit about it in the show. This Friday, John Oro, Rene, the C10 Club Utah, 6 to 9 Friday. They're having a little thing at the state capitol there, 6 to 9, celebrating 25 years of the C10 Club. So that's really awesome that Chase is doing that. For everybody headed out there, safe travels. Now, no matter what you're doing, if you haven't had a chance to jump back and listen to 289 with Ricky and Ellie, do me a favor and do yourself a favor. It's a really good one. Hell, it's a great one. Ellie's story is amazing, and now Ricky is involved in that journey. He's involved in that story, her life's journey. So jump back, 289. I promise you'll dig it. And if you want to get to know the Driveway Find guys, Dustin and Brito, 288 right in front of that one. So you got plenty to listen to. 288, Dustin and Brito, Driveway Finds. 289, Ricky and Ellie. And then 290, 25 years of C10 clubbing. All right, let's jump into 290. Remember, you got 4 different people, 5, including yours truly, and some different jockeying for some air. So there's going to be times where we walk on one another. I'm not cleaning it up. It's for your listening pleasure. And we even gave Rene a hard time. We're like, hey, don't walk on us too much. Don't interrupt. We had a little bet. But as you know, it's all in good fun. So enjoy the pod. All right, guys. Late. What's up? What's up? C10 Talk coming at you. We've got more than just the C10 Nation. We've got the OGs of the C10 Club. 1990.
That's right. I'm here. I'm going to earn my
Hey,
money
hold
today.
on.
That's one.
No,
I couldn't even go 1 minute.
That's 2.
Not 1 minute.
Hey,
without
for
him
the
trying to take
audience,
over the show.
I've got an over-under of 15 how many times Rene interrupts. But 1999, let's start there because this is the 25-year anniversary. Rene's been on the pod. Kev has been on the pod. I don't remember if I put a Mike and Ace's face or not, and obviously Oro. But
nope.
We've got Ace, we've got Rene, the C10 King, we've got Kev's Classics, we got John Oro, the Juan Father to El Presidente, and we've got 25 years of this crazy C10 Club thing going. Rene, take us back to when your sister got the hat and Christmas, and just kind of review for us the how this whole thing started, please.
Well, golly, 25 years. I don't know if I can remember that far back. I'm an old guy.
Well, I'll tell you this: there's a C10 that you can buy or can't buy if you can remember. So somehow, I think spontaneously you'll remember.
Well, Rene, I can't remember. Did your sister get you that hat back in '99?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
See what it is? Okay, you guys probably haven't noticed. Excuse my language, but I'm a little bit of a smartass. Have you guys ever heard of that terminology before? That word?
Never.
Well,
Never.
Back when
Not about you.
Back in the late '90s, when I started getting back in the car show scene, every time I went to a show, they would always ask club affiliation. What car club are you with? What car club are you with? Well, at the end of '99, I got back into the C10 trucks. I had one before, and life happens, and I got back into it. And the pickup that I picked up was a really nice truck, and I started taking it to shows. So I go in, they ask to fill out the registration, and they would ask club affiliation. And I used to do the car club thing, once upon a time. And so they look at the truck. You belong to a car club. So I go, well, it's a C10. So just joking around, I'd say, yeah, I belong to the C10 Club. And then I would immediately say, you probably heard of us. And sometimes they say, and it was something I just made up. Oh, yeah, I heard of you. And I'd laugh to myself, you haven't heard of nothing. Or sometimes they say, no. And then I'd say, well, you're going to one day. And I would always say that, oh, yeah, I'm going to a car show, with the C10 Club. And my sister heard me saying that because, by that time, a couple of my cousins, my kids would go. And she heard me say that a few times. So she thought it was kind of funny. Well, Christmas time, my brother and myself, we would exchange gifts. My brother and my sister and myself would exchange gifts. And my brother had a beat-up GMC that would be cool today. It was patina, and patina wasn't cool back in the 90s. And so she bought me a hat that said, C10 Club. And she bought one for my brother that C10 Wannabe. It's just as a joke. And so just to make fun of him, and he got the hat, and he looked at it, ha, ha, ha. Because, again, nobody wanted a 69 GMC that was, has surface rust. And I, looked at the hat and said, man, this is kind of cool. And when you have a head that's perfect like mine, you don't wear a hat. I know Kevin says because my head is so fat. Thank you, Kevin. But anyway, he says that nowadays. But I never really wear a hat. So I go, this hat's kind of cool. So I go, I'll just put it on the dashboard of my truck and just drive around like that. But after I saw the hat, I said, this is kind of cool. So I went and bought a dozen more hats the next day. And I gave them to the kids, the cousins, the uncles and stuff, and boom, the C10 Club name was, on a hat. And, we had 12 of them. And that was really how we got started.
And
and so was that Christmas of '99?
That was Christmas Eve. Well, actually, that was Christmas morning or Christmas Eve. I forgot when we exchanged the gifts, but that was either Christmas Eve or Christmas morning. I think it was Christmas morning. But I just know the next day I went and ordered a dozen more and passed them out.
So I love
the originals.
I don't remember hearing you've probably heard of us. I love that. That needs to be on a shirt. But what about the no rules, no dues? Where did that come from?
Oh, that came from Kevin, Kevin, take it away.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was one of my sayings because, as starting off young in the cars, I've always been in cars and I was in lowrider clubs. Well, one club in particular, but that was one thing that always, amazed us. We were young. I was young, didn't have a whole lot of money, but you had to be in the club, you had to pay dues every week. And,
politics.
I barely get gas money to go to the meeting. So if you didn't have gas money to go to meetings, you'd get fined. And then when there's a car show or to escort a wedding or a quinceañera, whatever they would do, if you didn't participate, you got fined. So that's why I start thinking, when Rene came up, when I met Rene and the C10 Club started coming out, I said, hey, if we're going to do this, it's going to be no rules, no dues.
Just fun.
That's the only thing, that was the only bad thing about clubs that I didn't like. So that's why I said, if we're going to do a club, that's what it's going to be. And it's been that way since, and I love it. And I love that everybody,
cool.
Good time.
It's still that way with a lot of clubs today, Ronnie. They got to pay dues. They got to go to meetings. They got to do this. They got to do that. They get fined. Part of the car club politics.
Yeah, I joined a club called the Lords.
So, yeah, we wanted something fun, for families. So young families, with. I love seeing now in the C10 Club, like me back in the day, I was young with the family and we would take our families with us. And I love seeing that nowadays, all these young families with their kids with them, enjoying the C10 Club and enjoying the truck scene. You know what I mean? It just, now my kids are grown up. It's just me and my wife now at the shows. But I love seeing the young families because I think back, that was us. I love seeing how all the kids are into it. Everyone's having fun and how all these people that put on the shows cater to all that and make it so all the kids and all the families have fun.
Yep.
So I just love everything about it.
So I've never been in a car club like that. Where does that money go?
Well, back then it kind of worked out because we would go to, like far away car shows and it happens one time. If your car breaks down, if you blow a motor when you're caravanning out of town, the car club will fix it. They take care of it. If you blow out a motor, if you blow out a tire, on the road, a lot of time, I had 520. You hit a pothole, you take out both tires on both sides. Well, brand new tires. If it messed up your rims, brand new rims. If we stood at a hotel, they paid for the hotel. All that was nice, yeah. But then, that was good, the good part of it. But like I said, I was young. I barely had money. I was glad I could have money to participate and have a car, but I had a family too, so I didn't have money. I thought,
Yeah. Well, I get it now. And it's like, hey, to each his own, because you know what? It's like, hey, some guys want to stay at a fancy hotel. Some guys don't care. And it's like, hey, I'd rather have my money if I have that money to spend on my ride, or who knows, I might need it for the kid's new shoes this week for school or something. Let alone anything
Pampers.
Oh yeah, and like the C10 Club, most of the trucks are patina now. Oh, if you didn't have a paint job, you weren't in the club. You're out. You're fine. If you primered your car to get it ready, hey, you better have it painted in a month, or So that's why we wanted something where it's more family oriented. Where anybody can do it. You don't have to have a show truck.
It's nice. You are
exactly. Yeah.
Do whatever you want to do.
Exactly. Show truck or not, we love them all.
So Ace, I know
everybody loving the passion.
I know Ace isn't gonna, want to, he's chilling. And when you look back, Ace, and you get into this thing and Renee's talking to you about it, and you get a hat and you're, driving whatever you're driving at the time. When you look forward 25 years, what are you thinking?
Okay.
Like, it's crazy.
Well, let me tell you my story. Okay. Real quick, I tore my Suburban down in 96, completed it in 99 with the help of Kev's Classics. Worked on my Suburban, wired it up for me.
I've heard of him.
You heard of him? Yeah. And for 25 years, I've never had one electrical problem or even a fucking fuse blow. Excuse my language. Are we live?
No, that's okay. That's okay. We like the passion. Calm down. Cómate.
Hey, and the anti-theft that I put in there for free actually saved the vehicle, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was there. I saw that.
So it sounds like you just did an amazing shameless plug for this company called Kev's Classics. I mean, the wiring's 27 years old. The anti-theft works. So 1-800 Kev's Classics. There you guys go.
let me continue a little bit. So May of 98, it was completed. I did my first car show, Pismo Beach, Father's Day weekend in 1999. I think the date was July or June 19 and 20, if I'm not mistaken. Took my first merchant award at that show. I drove it. It was the first out-of-town show it went to. It was Pismo Beach, and the rest is history. Just continued to do shows and then I started doing shows with Kevin, and then Kevin met Rene, and then I met Rene through Kevin, and then John Oro, I guess somewhere along the line, popped into the scene, and C10 Club was created.
Boom.
Rene's
Boom.
Boom. There you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Oro, how'd you get intertwined in this thing?
What's
So
that?
for me,
He paid us money.
Yeah.
that's still not dead.
Hey, by the way, you're late for your payment this month.
Just so you know, we're at 11. I'm counting.
I never got John. John, I never got my money.
For me, it was the 67 to 72 forum. And, on there, we all kind of interacted. And I think the first guy that reached out was Bobby Martinez. And he saw that I had a Blazer. Bobby is Rene's nephew. And he invited me to come out and hang out and barbecue with him at the old Brothers truck show out there in Anaheim Hills, Yorba Linda, back when they had it at back in the area.
That was about 2005. Let me interrupt. Yeah. That was about 2005, John, right?
Canyon RV.
Yes. Canyon RV.
The 6th annual.
Then they changed it. But yeah, that was one of those that I got invited to. We hit it off, and we talked about it, and I think they reached out. I think they kind of liked me. I don't know, man. I don't know what it was, but they said, hey, we think we should do something here. We'd like to do something.
He brought his green chorizo, so we
with the SoCal guys, and they're smart. These guys, they're a little more seasoned than I am, and so they're like, hey, well, let's let this younger guy do all the work, and maybe do some of the bring some of the SoCal guys in. But as it started coming together, I told them, with the history of the SoCal and the NorCal and Sureños, Norteños stuff, I'd like to just be John Oro from the C10 Club. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to, hey, that just guy happens to be from Long Beach, where I'm from. So that's where it kind of began as a one chapter, one club. I did not really initially wanted to be all these chapters and all these, and it wasn't until it just got so big, and it got big fast. The Brothers show, we all met up, and it was a huge.
Yes.
We were probably 1/3 of it. It was to a point where the Brothers would give us our own first area. We'd go in there first and set up the barbecue and do it. We'd have that first area as you come into the right, and again, more and more people kind of want to be part of it, and they saw what it was. It's it's the no rules, no dues part of it, where we just didn't like, and I like that fact too, because we didn't like with the old clubs. Usually clubs have, that persona that they have, that reputation of, you have to be a stickler for this and stickler for that. We just wanted to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? We just wanted to hang out with people. Yeah, we wanted that. So that worked out for me, and it started getting bigger when we crossed over to Arizona. So you cross over to Arizona and you come to some appliance repair shop show, and he's having it there, and he's like, okay, hey, what's this about? So I get this big cat to ask me, hey man, what's this all about? What is it? And he had seen some of it from the forum. So he had invited Dale and a bunch of other people to come out, and he was stoked that we actually went out. So Dale and I went out. We crossed state lines, went into Dino's. At the time, believe it or not, it had not been named anything. It was just the first one was Dino's in the garage, which I believe Dale was there. The first get down was at the shop. That's when it was named by Sam. So once you get the big cat like that, somebody like that, kind of giving you like want to be part of it, you get other people asking about it. And my main guy that asked about it and reached out to me was Ruben Salazar out of now C10 Club, Texas.
All right. Well, hold on. Hold on. You're just like doing this whole chronological thing of so for the audience, if you figured out West Coast, okay, Rene is in Atwater, Merced, which is up more Sacramento.
In the Central
Central Cal. Just about an hour north of Fresno.
Okay, so here's the deal.
Close to the Fresno.
If you know, okay, Fresno. If you know California, it's as tall as Texas is wide. So then they meet John, who's more down in LA, Long Beach. Yeah. And at the time, Brothers Trucks, which there wasn't a lot of shows back then. So you had the Brothers Truck Show and Shine, and that thing went on for about 24 years. RIP. This year it is dead. I believe they skipped 1 year, probably a COVID year. Started at their shop, and then they moved a few different times from Canyon RV. But nonetheless, the C10 Club had a standing spot like Norm from Cheers, and Rene was a big part of that, and Renee's wife, and they'd get everybody together, and it was not only was it no rules, no dues, it was amazing food. So it was like a family barbecue where you came to the show wherever you parked, you could still get yourself over to the C10 Club area, the pavilion, and you could eat, you could break bread, you could meet some of the guys. So from there, then the get down again. And for the audience, you have to understand, this is all from the forum, way before social media, 67 to 72 Chevy Truck Forum, where, Rene had the C10 King, name, and then Dino 66, because it wasn't, Chevy only Dino, it was Dino 66. And then things kind of expand from there, from the C10 Club, from, when you think about the Godfathers, when you think about Oro, Ace, Kevin, Rene, and then as it gets bigger, and Dell was over in Cali as well. So Dell knew John and Dell had kind of met up, and Dell, he broke the internet. If you think about the 1965 that he built, and then Sam ended up with it, he posted something the other day, but that was a social media style post or build on the forum where guys were just doing pictures and different little things. And then maybe he had an iPhone 3, I don't know, but he made more of a music video style. I mean, I'm thinking Clutch, Electric Worry, and so then it kind of grows from there, really.
Yep.
So
exactly.
When you look back, Rene, another thing that I think is a big part of it is your C10s at the ranch, your birthday get together barbecue that continued to just get bigger and bigger. When you look back over that, did you ever consider continuing to grow that, move it, or did it just get to where you're like, hey, I can't believe this started out like 10 trucks. And you got to remember, Dino has paid homage to this, his backyard barbecue. And then obviously it grew to the second year at the shop was inspired by you and your backyard barbecue. Hey guys, are you thinking about swapping out your old motor for a more reliable LSLT based power plant? Behind each PSI harness, you get over 10 years of experience in the business, online tech support, phone support, and harnesses made in the U.S. That's PSIconversion.com.
Seeing is believing. The crispness of the United Pacific LED headlights, taillights, marker lights, and more makes seeing and showing your truck that much better. It's time to upgrade your old dim halogens for new LED headlights. Think UP Car Parts. That's upcarparts.com.
Need C10 parts? Well, here at Pro, we actually have trucks. We build them, we drive them, and we deal with them every day. It's just part of who we are. We carry the best products for your truck project from the major name brands such as QA1, React, Painless, Dakota, Beltec, Borgeson, Bear, and even more. Give us a call or check us out on the web.
You've heard me talk about my gauges. Dakota Digital. I love them. Dakota Digital has the best gauges for our trucks. These kits are complete with sensors for any engine. They look just like the stock clusters, but have all the technology you'd expect from Dakota Digital. It's like a modern truck, but even better in a classic. Dakota Digital is absolutely the best in aftermarket gauges, so check them out at dakotadigital.com. dakotadigital.com.
Dino has paid homage to this, his backyard barbecue, and then obviously it grew to the second year at the shop, was inspired by you and your backyard barbecue.
I know. It's hard to believe I forgot about all that. And Dino, every year he tells me that, and it's like, wow. When we started the one here at the house, because I had just bought this little ranchette, and I told the wife, I go, we're going to landscape the backyard and we're going to have a car show back here. And the first one was open to everything. It was open to cars, pickups. But as we got a little bit bigger and started meeting more people in the pickup scene, it just changed to a pickup show. And, we got bigger and bigger. Unfortunately, my yard did not. And then all of a sudden, John says, hey, Jim from CPP, he asked me if I was going up there to Rene's, and I said, yeah. And he goes, here, a lot of these guys are my customers, and he started giving us like raffle gifts and stuff. It was like, I was blown away. I go, what the heck?
Yeah.
He heard about this? He goes, well, yeah, he knows a lot of them are his customers. So John came up with all these raffle gifts, and then Brothers kicked in. Another thing I want to bring up about Brothers, Ronnie, is in the beginning, they were, 100, 150 trucks or so. Well, when they gave us the green light, and recognized us as a C10 Club, we got big and they got big. We got big because of them and they got big because of us. I brought in my cousin Leonard, invited him. My cousin Leonard was used to cooking for a lot of people, and he would bring in his cookers. And then I grew up, where the show was at, right down the street. So I called a couple of buddies of mine, Louie and Fred, and said, hey, man, come on over and we're going to barbecue. And we just had a big old family type party, and all these people, we want to join the C10 Club. Yeah. And in fact, even the brothers, the Flander brothers, Steve and Jim, it was so cool because on the flyers they said no barbecue, no alcohol. They would come and eat and drink with us. It was unbelievable.
That's how C10 Club does it.
Yeah, we'd have big old parties at the Howard Johnson pre-parties. And we have hundreds of people, and we, again, the Flander brothers, Dino would show up, Del would show up, all these people would show up, and we'd close the place down. In fact, the pre-parties were just as good as the show. And then we started doing after parties over there, It was just great what we had going on.
Yeah, them were the good old days.
Chemistry.
That was called C10 After Dark.
Oh, yeah, before dark, after dark, during dark. Remember the sofa?
We were all a lot younger then, too.
Man, if the Hojo owes everybody money, because that Hojo, we would fill that thing up, and chlorine to that pool. But then the C10s, and for the audience again, sometimes the pre-party is better than the show because it's a smaller venue. You had 40 trucks at the Hojo instead of 400 at the show, and then everybody's kind of in the parking lot. You couldn't even turn in that damn thing because it would get so full, and the Hojo would fill up. A couple of the neighboring spots would fill up, and it really was. It's funny how you just, and it's kind of a reminisce, but isn't it funny how when you think about like the good old days, when you look back and you kind of reminisce about it being smaller and you're in the moment, you don't even think about it, and guys are doing stuff on couches and we're breaking bread and beers and like, well, what the hell's going on over there in that corner? And we're, so it's just a good time. you know?
Oh, yeah. It was a
Gotta
good
give
time.
a shout out to XXL 250 Eddie.
I was just
for
thinking
that.
the same thing.
Yeah. Eddie on the couch.
There was a lot.
Hey,
There was a lot. And,
but we're still having as much fun today.
Oh, yeah, we still are.
Yeah, I think so.
It just changes, right?
It's still fun.
Yeah.
It's still fun.
Yeah, we're going to get together tomorrow, up here. We're going to get together and have a good old time tomorrow. Wherever we go, we have
looking
fun.
forward.
We have so much fun.
That's all, yeah.
It's the people that make the good times.
Yeah,
it really
Somebody's
is.
got a line.
Cool
Somebody's got a line.
people.
If somebody come up with a motto.
No, I think every time I come up with it, Rene stills it or Oro stills it, and it was trademarked, but not anymore. I think we used it in a
Ronnie,
movie or something.
I came up with this line, and it works. The trucks are cool, but the people are cooler.
I love it, Rene.
A couple years ago, I don't know if you ever heard
AKA Rene Martinez, the one and only, the C10 King.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh!
How about what came first, the trucks or the people? What came first?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Well, I want to touch base on that. And Rene said something that was such a good. First of all, kudos to the brothers because they did a great job, and we had a lot of fun.
Yes,
and that was really a West Coast. You had to check that off. And it's sad that has kind of went away. But the one thing that Rene said was that he called his buddy Huey, Louie, and Dewey. And he's like, hey, they come out to the barbecue. And then and it's funny, you're almost exactly right, Kev, because you're like, well, what's first, the truck or the people? Well, people, you'll bring them to an event and they're like, well, I want to get a truck now because this is awesome and this is fun.
Yeah.
So there are people that come with another friend, and we've all had it where you have a friend or an acquaintance or a family member, and they're like,
hey, Ronnie, I've had people come up to me. I don't have a C10. Can I be a C10 Club member?
Yep.
Are you a good person? You like to hang out? You like to have a good time? Yeah, you're in.
Yeah.
Whether you have a truck
no
or
rules,
not,
no rules, no dues.
You've probably heard of us.
They ask me people ask me all the time, how do I join the C10 Club?
Yeah.
How much do you guys charge a month to be in the club?
Yeah. I go, well, we have a chicken suit. You got to wear it up and down the street, And act,
it's
act
just,
like a chicken.
just initiation. That's just as long as you get through the initiation.
Yeah, the blood initiation. Easy.
Send them to Kevin, have them put the sticker on their windshield.
Yeah, the prospect.
Yeah.
Well, hey, there's a whole
Kevin or John.
Once those guys started putting those stickers on, everybody's, I remember Rene put one on my 68, and man, that was the other thing too, is when you think we got to give some love out to classic trucks, because in custom classic trucks, because back then those two magazines, they ran a lot of that. They ran the stuff on Rene. They ran
Gilbert, the photographer John Gilbert, came out a couple of times and did some really nice articles. Yeah, for those magazines.
Yeah. And then they covered the brothers, and then exactly. And I think from there, when you think about the forum, it is, you look back and it's like, hey, no wonder it's going to explode, because the trucks are cool and the people are so good that they draw more people in, and we are blessed. And it is kind of funny to think back, So at what point, John, are you like, was it social media that ended up really expanding that for you?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that's, honestly, I think that's part of the reason that everyone sees kind of me as one of the guys. But, again, I got here 10 years later. So for me, I always ask these guys, hey, listen, there's still plenty of work to be done. There's still whatever. The next phase of social, whatever's coming next, we could always, we could always use it to grow bigger. But I think at this point, we just kind of like what we have, all the clubs that are, as long as they keep the same views and values, I guess it's kind of that we want, or we started. I think we're cool with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I know personally, and you don't have to expand too much, but these guys, like you said, they're a little more seasoned, which was your nice way of saying they're old fucks. Thanks,
John. Even look how hard it was to get this phone call together. Somebody's dying.
They all showed up before you did. So
the operator asked for an extra quarter information.
No, the operator was pulling the plug out, put it in. Okay, I'm going to connect you to Phoenix.
Yeah, she was calling Ethel like Klondike 127. Yeah.
Well, I know there's been some headaches along the way, right? So people have, people have wanted to be a C10 Club, whatever, Canada. I don't even care.
Sometimes when we say no rules, no dues, people think, well, then that means I can start my own. And we kind of would rather them, I don't want to say get vetted, but get some experience in it, see if it's for you, because sometimes it's a lot of work, and I tell these guys, if you just want to have fun and come kick it, come check it out. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, and other clubs that are not C10 clubs have grown out of it because it's just not for them. And I am totally great with that, because some people love structure. Some people want to run it with a president, a vice president, a sergeant at arms, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, we'll cruise our C10s to their shows, to our shows. It's just, they wanted to be part of that culture, that club, and they wanted whether it be a smaller, tighter knitter group that they went to. But with ours, it's, I don't know, it's sort of like the Good Sam's Club, you know what I'm saying, where we just go out and you see a C10 Club sticker and, you see it from another state, another place. That's great. Sometimes you don't get a chance to tighten up with these people because they're not in that same area or per se. But, it's good to see the whole scene. I think the C10 Club, as the club too, has actually seen some really nice stuff come out of it, whether you want to join us particular or not. And I always tell these guys, listen, you want to rock that sticker, don't rock that sticker. We've got everything from a guy that I see once every 7 years to SEMA bills to, just a neighbor down the street, a high school kid. So it's, it's all good just to see them liking the same things we are,
Yeah, and there's mentorship there. We just dropped Ricky and Ellie and, Slick Rick,
people.
67.
Yeah.
And he even talked about, he's like, I would see Rene or I would see Rene's truck as a kid and my dad. And I think sometimes we don't realize that there are kids that are looking up to people, adults or us, or, whether you're driving a C10 or, obviously even if you're driving something else, Fast and Furious, there's kids that are out there that are looking up to everybody, their uncles, their cousins, and you drag them along to a show and they're like, oh, wow, this is pretty cool. I want to be part of this.
Yeah. No, it's super cool. And a lot of it too is the family bonding that you do, at least for me. For me, it's worked out really well. I wasn't really into the C10 scene from the beginning. I was into the lowriders. I was into that. But as my kids kind of got, and I was really well involved with them throughout high school and their sports. But as they started getting bigger and doing their things on their own, I'm like, man, I need to do something with my free time, because I was always at their events. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when I had the opportunity to buy my Blazer, my truck, and get into the scene, after they got and seeing what I like to do, they bought their own trucks. They got their own thing. So both my boys have C10s, and I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I didn't ask them like, hey, dude, they like it. I mean, they pick different types of cars. I mean, Jake has that 71 Cheyenne. John has the 78 GMC Sierra. And, and step grandkids got a K10. And so, and we're looking to, Damien's working on getting his driver's license. So, we're 3 generations in that's having fun and just with these old trucks,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
What do you guys think about
Yeah,
being in Cali? There used to be Brothers and obviously some of the good guy shows. Del Mar was always great. Pleasanton. It's really expanded, right? So you got the slowdown now. Brothers, unfortunately, is no longer. But you also have the intervention, and obviously, John, you're a big part of those things. But for the other guys, I know you do like C10 Palooza. You do the what's the swap meet that Rene loves so much? Turlock.
Turlock.
Well, so for Rene and Kevin up, more in that mid Fresno area, what do you guys think about the growth all over the country with all these shows and just the expansion of not only the C10 Club, but there used to be 5 shows we would go to, and now there's a lot more. A lot more.
Oh yeah.
That's 5 a month now.
That's what social media has done. It's made everything grow so fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's great,
everybody saw everyone
like right
how
now.
much. Yeah, everybody saw how much fun this was. Yeah, everyone saw how much fun it was, and you know what we're doing, and like what you've been talking about, family, all what we've been talking about. Everybody sees that, and they say, hey, you know, that's why it grew, and you know, and I see it, I love it. It blows me away how big it's gotten. I mean, I still don't believe it. You know, I think you know, hey, that's just us. You know, just started just hanging out, you know, and that what we've done. Everybody's always seen it, and everybody's in different groups growing, and I love it. You know, it just blows me away. You know, and to have, you know, what helped us make it grow was, you know, having our wives being in it with us. Like I said, it's a family
thing. That's a big,
our kids,
big
yeah,
part. That's our family. Our kids, the wives.
Our kids were with us when we were young, but they grow up to their families, you know, but our wives stay, you know, they still hanging with us, and they loved our hobby, you know. You know, and they got into it, and they catered to us, you know. They helped this thing grow. Wherever we went, they're the ones who did all this cooking and not making all this, you know. Leonard did the barbecuing, but all the sides and everything else and organizing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what, you know, helped make it grow. You know, what made it fun. You know, what made it a family thing. And till today, the girls are still doing it.
Yeah, they're so accepting. When you go to these ladies, they're also really super welcoming to the other ladies, which those ladies in turn with the guys that come in, and they're like, hey, I had a really great time. The ladies were really nice. You know, I'm going to help them do this. And it grows. Multiplies. And, you know, when you've got mama on board, then that's more than half the battle.
Great hospitality.
Exactly.
Great hospitality. Yeah, you nailed it.
Lori leads the way. Kevin's wife, Lori. Ronnie, I don't know if you ever met her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. She is awesome. All the women there that help us. Oh, my God. We couldn't do it without them.
Because when I barbecued for a while there, Lori took over my job.
Well, we don't want to go to the 1999 incident with the burnt chicken. That might have a lot to do with it.
Hey, calm down now. Calm down over there.
I think another thing is funny that you guys should think about is, speaking of clubs, I know there's guys that are in other clubs, and they're also in the C10 clique, if you will. So whether they're in the C10 club per se, they'll do their club thing, and they get shit from their club, and they're like, oh, you're gonna go hang out with your C10 buddies, and you're like, yeah, they're a lot less drama than you bastards.
No, we just want to hang out. We just want to barbecue. We just want to hang out.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. And a lot of things. Go ahead.
Well, I just think, John, you expand a little bit on, because what I've been trying to do is a little good, bad, and ugly. And so this is still on the good. And the good was, you know, I was really trying to start the good with Ricky and Ellie. So for the audience, I'm going to, you know, do the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the bad and the ugly is just, I've been doing this for almost 10 years, and we do have shops that are screwing people over. We do have, but this is the good. 25 years of breaking bread. The trucks are cool, the people are cooler, and bringing this together. But there are times where I know John for a fact has put out some amazing fires, and it goes all across the country. But you think about, when I think about the expansion, I think about Lou, I think about Casey Harris out in North Carolina, Ruben in Texas. The one that is amazing, obviously, El Chuco. I mean, he gets behind it so much, and you have so many different states, you know, Chase in Utah. You've got so many different states that are represented, and it's such good people that love the community. But I do know sometimes, John, you know, whether it's you putting your foot down or it's like, hey, what the hell? I know there's been some states where it's like you get two different C10 clubs, and one's trying to ruin one for another, or rule over another one, and you're like, listen, we all let's just not get carried away with it.
And that was hard. That was hard for me because, you know, I don't want to control it. I want them just to spread the good word, the good gospel. Hey man, this is just about having a good time. You know, if you reach out to me and say, hey man, I want to start one of my, hey, check it out, see what it's about. But it's a lot of work. And if you just want to be the head of state, if you want to be just social media, listen man, that's gonna fall really fast. And sometimes you get a lot of guys that come in hard and hot, but then they fizzle out just the same. So usually, usually we give a guy, we let him give some time to come on board, but then they'll see what it's about. And you get so much out of this once you go through all that, and you're going to get some great memories out of it. And sometimes friends, I'll outgrow. There's guys that come in and they get into C10s, and next month now they're into Corvettes or something, and that's all good. You know what I'm saying? But enjoy the good little moments, and
we've seen that for sure.
What I tell you guys.
Yeah, and I'd be remiss not to mention right here in my backyard, Brian Val. He gives so much, from the Christmas gifts that they donate to he participates in both big shows, which is going to be the Get Down and the Reunion, and they do cruises once a month, and it's really Brian's an ambassador for that as well, and just it's
that's
just
what they all are. And I think for me what's worked too is to not really meddle with them and let them do their own thing in their own state. Because I remember, Alex, when I first saw Alex put up El Chuco, I'm like, oof, El Chuco C10 Club. And I'm like, we're not really, listen, man, we're a family-oriented thing. To me, El Chuco in SoCal, it means, like a Pachuco, like a gangster. And he told me, he reached out to me, Alex is good. I always tell Alex, dude.
So you bought a C10, and it either had AC at one time or it wasn't even an option. Well, Vintage Air has the solution for you. Their SureFit kits are designed to place the evaporator and hoses behind the dash for a factory clean look. The Vintage Air SureFit kits are the best value and the most completely engineered air conditioning system you can install in your C10. Damn, son, the choice is obvious. VintageAir.com.
Classic Performance Products, CPP back. Joe, let's talk X10 spindles. Go.
One of our most popular parts through the years has been our 2.5-inch drop modular spindles. Really popular part. Well, we've kind of taken that to the next step. We've emulated late model Corvette, Silverado, Chevy technology into our new X10 drop spindles. They use a steel hub, sealed bearing hub, really strong piece. It's oversized bearings. Definitely great for a guy using big brakes, big wheels, which I'm sure all your guys are.
You need a new spindle anyways. You're going to lower your truck. You're running a bigger wheel, a bigger brake. CPP's got it for you with their new X10 spindle. Joe, as always, thank you. CPP, classicperform.com. It's classicperform.com. Sniper 2. Are you ready to switch out that old carb for a modern EFI system? Well, Holley has a solution for you. The all-new Sniper 2. This new system was redesigned from the ground up. Available in tumbled polished or black powder coat, and there's 3 available tuning interfaces. A classic 3.5 handheld, a 5-inch mountable, which includes a GPS speedo or a Bluetooth module so you can use your smartphone. Another big bonus is the Sniper 2 has a built-in transmission control module. So if you're looking to upgrade to a 4-speed overdrive, 4L60, 4L80, you now can with ease. Holley.com to get started today, Holley.com.
Marquet has been in business for over 40 years. It all started in the original owner's garage. From humble beginnings of a couple parts in a garage to a 2-building manufacturing facility making over 6,000 parts, Marquet has grown to be one of the country's premier truck parts manufacturers. They have made their original parts from the original trucks. All parts are manufactured in-house in Oklahoma City, USA. They offer quality parts built by Americans for old American-made trucks. So when you're looking for body moldings, bed strips, bedwood, and so much more, think Marquet. That's mar-k.com.
Yeah, we're not really, listen, man, we're a family-oriented thing. To me, El Chuco in SoCal, it means, like a Pachuco, like a gangster. And he told me, he reached out to me, Alex is good. I always tell Alex, dude, hey, dude, when I'm done with this, Alex, you are next, dude. He is my number one guy right there. He is such good. He's a good dude. He is like everything he does 100%. He gives himself 100% to the club, and then he also puts a lot of stuff together. And he's also like you, Ronnie. He's a good role model for our kids. You know what I'm saying? And I like that. I like to be able to say, hey, go talk to my friend here. It's just I like to surround my kids as well with good people, because they can get, they can get something out of it. You know what I'm saying? A good conversation, a good, just a good role model. And I like that. And he's one of them. So with the El Chuco thing, he explained to me that that's the heritage of El Paso. You know what I'm saying? And that's, the way that he explained it to me and told me that that's basically where the El Chuco thing started. And that's what everyone in El Paso calls El Chuco. I started to say, you know what? Why am I trying to sit here and try to micromanage a state that I'm not even in, that I don't know their culture? Hey, have at it, dude. That's yours. And from then on, the rest of the states are the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on and that goes on with each individual state, and each one is, sanction themselves. So you don't need to answer to no one, to be honest. As long as, for me, you keep the same values, hey, have at it, man. Have fun and throw a show, and I'll try to make it. You know what I'm saying? I love to go to these shows and pop in and check out my peoples, as I say.
Yeah. How about gear?
Awesome.
A lot of you guys have done a great job of staying out of, which we talked about, like, I'm like, Rene, you should sell gear. I don't want to deal with it. Oro, you should sell gear. And you guys have done a good job. I know you've teamed up with, obviously I've sold some C10 Club stuff. You've got C10 Era. Raul's done some stuff. C10 Crew.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got my 25-year hat. I mean, they did an amazing job on that. They put everybody on that, the four of you. And yeah, so I think C10 Club Lifestyle, C10 Club Magazine. There's been a lot of different things.
Shout out to Showtime Apparel.
Showtime Apparel. How do you guys figure that out? It's just like, hey, bring it forward and we love it. We're going to do it. Because do you ever worry about control of that, or hey, is there like an approval process?
It's never really been an issue. I don't think me, Rene, Kevin, and especially Ace. Nobody really wants to, we want to have fun. We want to have a good time, walk around, check out the trucks, barbecue and all that. For the most part, we're doing all right. We are more about the club than the merchandise. And
exactly.
And I originally started talking to Hector back in the day on the forum, which is C10 Crew. And he had reached out and said, hey, man, I can do some web design. And I kind of said, yeah. And I never really followed up with him. And once he did some designs and stuff that I think he sent to Rene, we talked, and I said, the C10 Club is cool. That you're welcome to do it because you're going to make us bigger. I wanted to put the name out there, and they did some nice stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, if they're making, back in those days, $5 off a shirt, and they're coming to a booth, spending their weekend on it, hey, have at it, man. And they were part of us, and still are part of us.
Yeah.
The C10 Crew grew out of that, and I did talk to Hector and Carlos both. And I said, dude, why don't you do like your own, at least from what I remember, do your own like merchandise. Do your, you know what I'm saying? And Hector's really smart, and obviously his brother Carlos too. And instead of the C10 Club, became the C10 Crew, which I think attracted a younger generation of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's their brand. You know what I'm saying? And out of that same thing, Raul did some shirts, and he was doing some over here. Has C10, I said, same thing, do C10 Era, because, at the end of the day, something's going to happen where it's going to get too many people making the C10 Club stuff. That's what I thought. And you're not going to, I'd never wanted one particular person to be just solely doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because we weren't, again, no rules, no dues. And as the clubs do it throughout their individual states and even chapters, the money goes back to them. You know what I'm saying? The money goes back to their club. And you're, what are you going to make? Enough to throw a good little barbecue or make a good little run, maybe pay for your easy up that you take to shows to represent your club. And that's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't see nobody getting rich about it. I mean, I know, I'm sure Rene gets every T-shirt of every size of every color of all of them, but so do I.
Yeah. Where's mine?
Anyway, it's honestly,
I tell him, just send me an extra medium. Send me an extra medium.
It's a beautiful
Save one
thing
for me.
You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing to see that people want to be part of it, and
awesome.
and again, if they want to rep, more power to them. It's it's really neat to see it.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy to think that it all started with an OG hat, but it is funny because even though there is C10 lifestyle, Brian, it is a lifestyle, right? It is a lifestyle where it's like, hey, this is what we do. This is what we,
exactly. Yeah.
It's the people, it's the family, it's the food. It is
it's
very
the fun.
But if you think about
it's so much fun.
But if you think about it, it's pretty crazy to sit back and think, okay, we're gonna meet up. Okay, it's the family, it's the food, it's the fun, and you're like, this is supposed to be a truck thing, right? Because the trucks become 4, 5, 6, because you get the wives and the friends and the family and the food and the fun, and you're like, oh yeah, there's trucks somewhere that are part of this equation. But we got here, a lot of times the guys are in the shop doing the truck thing, and then you get together on a weekend. Like you said, Rene, you're meeting up tomorrow. You get together for a show, you get together for a gathering, a backyard barbecue, and the truck becomes so far down the line of what really matters. We post up the trucks, love the trucks, but we get together because of the people.
Exactly, but what makes it good about the trucks is driving them to the shows. The fun, the enjoyment.
We drive our
after
shit.
You've worked on that truck in your garage for years or whatever, and on the weekends, whatever. Driving it miles to the show. That's the enjoyment about the trucks. That's the fun part. That's the fun part of going to shows to me.
Great point.
When we have a big caravan going to the slowdown. I mean, seeing all the cars, all the trucks caravanning together to the slowdown. I mean, it's just an awesome feeling, And then just to drive
driving
it,
75 miles and then have another 12, 15 jump in with you, and then drive another 25 miles, and then you have another 10 jump in with you, and you come in, C10 strong. It looks so cool.
Yeah.
C10
why I
strong.
encourage people. That's why I encourage people, drive your trucks to the shows. I mean, that's all the things you do to it, all the money and all the things you put into it. Drive it, drive it.
Yeah.
That's so much fun, because when you're at the show, you just park and you're looking at it, and if you take it on the trailer, what's the point? You just take trailer it and park it there. I understand when you have a real nice truck that you wouldn't want to drive, trailer it, but trucks that can be driven, that are roadworthy, I think they should drive them and enjoyment. They say, this and that.
Exactly.
Hey, try it once. You know what I mean? Because the enjoyment you get out of it's like payback for all the time and the money you put into it. You're driving it, going down the road, the air hitting your, and seeing all the other trucks beside you, behind you.
Exactly.
It's so much fun. It's just great feeling. That's why I encourage people, drive them. You do all that work to them, drive them.
Kevin, does it feel good when we're driving someplace and saying, I worked on this one, I worked on the one behind me, I worked on the one behind that one, I worked on the one.
Almost all of them in the line. That is a good point, Rene, because I do feel that, when I'm driving with, and I look and I think back, hey, I worked on that one, I worked on that one, I worked on that one, I worked on that one.
Yes, sir.
And they all make it to the shows and they all make it back,
Yeah.
And shit happens. Well, everything, something's going to happen once in a while. And if it does, I'm glad if I'm there and I could help them out to drive it back. Don't call no tow truck. That's something we could fix right here, right now. Let's do it.
You're right.
I've seen you do that.
Yeah.
I've seen you do that.
I was so excited when it took me 3 years to build my Suburban. And then 1 month after it was done, I drove it to Pismo and it made it there and back. Because I had nothing but faith in the man that helped build it with me and wired up, Mr. Kevin. And and from that day forward, I love driving my Suburban. I get into it and I'm in love. I get a thrill every time I hop in, and especially where I'm going to. And
every time I pick up a new truck, it's going to Kevin, and I'm putting another one of his kids through college, medical school. That's what I tell Kevin.
You're into my grandchildren now.
I'm
kids
sending
are all
Kevin's
grown.
kids.
Now I'm
sending his grandkids to medical school. Yeah.
Apparently, apparently medical school in California is really fucking cheap. Maybe EMT school, CPR first aid.
I'll be well taken care of when I get ill.
Oh, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine having Rene as a customer, Kevin. He's like, do I get the C10 Club 99 deal? What do you mean 99? Oh, I want that 99 price. You've only rebuilt
Kevin,
18.
How far we go back?
Yeah.
Kevin will ask. Hey, Ronnie. Kevin will ask him, when do you want it? I go, yesterday. I'm dropping it off right now. I've done. I bought a truck in Fresno, and Kevin didn't even know, and I just drove it straight here. I'm dropping off my truck. I just bought this, Kevin. This is what I want done. Boom, 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 and he makes room. Says, okay.
I'm surprised you don't have a key to the shop, honestly, just to drop. Kevin comes into work one day and there's 3 more trucks, at least one by Rene. He calls Rene. Rene, did you drop off this truck at my shop? Yep.
Yeah.
Picked it up in Fresno last night, drove back home. Oh my God.
Yep. It's good having a friend like that.
Oh, it's great having a friend like that, especially if he keeps you. And you're right. When there is a lot of pride. I mean, even when I see somebody wear a hat or a shirt, listens to the pod, somebody from a guy that's got a shop, like you said, there's a lot of pride when you see people driving the trucks that you assisted them on, right? It's like, hey, they get to experience this because Kev's Classic helped that, whether it's a column, whether it's a 4.6 drop, whatever it is.
Yeah. You know what's so cool, Kevin? When we went to the Good Guys show there in Pleasanton, and the guy was looking at whether your trucks you had for sale. I was trying to help you sell it, and the guy goes, "Well, let me call one of my friends. He's a mechanic." And his friend comes over and says, "Kevin worked on that truck." He told the guy, "Buy it." That's all the guy said. Buy it. Kevin worked on it. Buy it. He sold the square body. He goes, "Kevin worked on it. Just buy it." And the guy wasn't even look. He was looking for a 68, and he bought a square body because Kevin worked on it. That was so cool.
Yeah, Sloppy Joe. Sloppy Joe was that.
Sloppy Joe. Yes, Sloppy
that
Joe.
was so cool. Yeah.
Buy it. Lock it down. You're not going to find another guy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So, you guys have seen a lot of growth over the years. You've seen a lot of change over the years. What's something that you look back that you miss the most, if it's something that we don't have anymore?
We still have it. You know what? Go ahead.
No, for me, it's sad to see the brothers show go, because that was the original one where we all met. So
I agree with that, John.
But to be honest, Jim and Steve both worked their butts off, built a good business, and they sold. Bought low, sold high, and they're somewhere in Tahiti, man, drinking Mai Tais, enjoying the best. And if I remember right, I think they've got enough money for the grandkids to go off to wherever they want to do. And what's better than that? You know what I'm saying? Everyone's going to be around for a certain amount of chapters, it may be more than one in your life. And, Brothers was a big part of it. But now they're not, and that's so cool. You know what I'm saying? They did what they did. Yeah. But you can't take that history away from them. They were great people. They showed up to our events, and that's one thing I'll miss.
They catered to us big time.
Yeah, and other than that, I mean.
Well, and their wives. I'm trying to think. Lisa was Jim's wife, and then I'm trying to think why. It starts with a K. Steve and Steve's wife.
John,
I'm just trying to.
John, who worked, who was the business manager.
Yeah, I love John.
John Lawrence, man, he was awesome.
Oh my God!
We go. Where do you want this?
Awesome.
Where do you want this?
He still is. And Jamie. And Jamie. Yeah. Well,
he's over at. He's over. I think I want to say at POL now. Just so if you guys know. So Parts Online. Is it? Yeah. Performance Online.
I think it's Carrie. Parts Online, Carrie.
Yeah,
so Steve and Carrie, Lisa and Jim. But the thing about it was so cool because it was small or smaller, was they would be there. Like they're the owners of the brothers. Yeah. They're well off, but they also are enthusiasts. They have trucks. And they're there. Their kids are there. Their kids grew up as part of that show. You can't go almost 25 years of having a truck show and think about, the amount of work it goes into it and what they do. So yeah, kudos to those guys. A lot of good memories, a lot of good times, but like you said, times change and new chapters, and the grandkids have enough money to go to college.
Yep. To do whatever. And the other thing is, I know a lot of people go back and say, well, I wish it was just back to well, where do you cut the line? Where do you draw the line at? I think I've heard Rene say, hey, if we try to do something at my house again, we've tried it. We fit 85 trucks. So who's going to make the top
Invitation
85?
only.
You know,
It
well,
has to
yeah,
be
you say invitation only, but how do you know you may get an invitation, Ace?
Now with all these
you make the
relationships
cut.
and friendships we made with all these people, how do you say, well, you can't make it?
Well,
You can't make it.
People are not going to make the cut, so it just doesn't work out no more. So now we got to do different events.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Renee
well,
has
that'd be hard to
85
limit
relatives with trucks.
Yeah, that brings up a good point.
Martinez is alone are 86. You know what I'm saying? So where do you draw that line? So.
Well, and we've seen so many guys come in and leave. You know, I do feel like if this thing fades out, which I don't think it ever will, I think that the C10s and the obviously 60, 50s all the way up to the 90s, the trucks there's so many, and the people, it's not like it's just going to die off. But the OGs will always be the OGs because you just love it. I love it, right? So you love it. You love the people. You love the.
Thank you.
So it's just one of those
thank
things.
you.
Yeah, I mean,
we are here to stay.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, listen, I'm looking forward to 50 years celebration.
Nice. Yeah. Why not? Why not? You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And the funny thing is, whether you realize it or not, you might take some life off.
Hold on there. I'll be 95.
Well,
you'll be there.
Hey, Rene,
I'll be there in 25 years.
How old was God, Rene, was it your uncle with the green advanced design? Rene,
Yeah.
My Uncle Richard?
Yeah, how old was he?
He's
my Uncle Richard, he's 90 years young.
See? You got Ace.
Nice.
90 years young.
See, Ace? Nice. See? You can still be there.
See?
You'll be there.
Still be there.
You'll be on the rug.
Uncle Richard's still there.
Oh, yeah. Look at Biden. He's old as fuck.
We're going to do another podcast in 25 years?
Yeah, I don't know about a podcast in 25 years. It'll be something else. It'll be Back to the Future. Hey, if you guys can figure out how to dial in, then I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen. At the,
it took me 4 times, but I got in today.
You did. So, what would you say is a favorite show of the past and a favorite show of the present? So, start with Rene.
Well, the past, probably. Again,
it could be the same show.
Okay, well, there's a few of them. The early get-downs. Dino's early get-downs were fantastic. John, going down there, and Larry, the Blazer, that Dell built. I mean, we had adventures going down there. We had adventures there, and we had adventures afterwards. Good Time Charlie's.
Oh, yeah.
On
I remember that.
Back. Yeah. We just, the early get-downs were fun. The brother shows. There's been so much. But the thing for me is like going to the new functions, C10s in the park, going to Texas, going to Mississippi. I haven't even gone to Utah yet, and Chase has made me feel so welcome. Oh my, the love I feel. It's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. So the old places, the new places, the places I'm going to go to next year and the year after that. I mean, oh my God, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
but
it's
going
fun.
back to the original question.
It's fun that you get the growth, right? Like you said, because one of John and I's rules, and I guess I don't know, I'd call it a rule, but advice is when you can attend a show at number 1, number 2, or number 3. Right? Because those first shows are so small and personable, and then it gets bigger, and then it gets bigger, and it's kind of like it's almost never as good as it is the first time, and it's just kind of a weird thing that John and I have talked about. We've flown all over, and you go to these shows, and C10's in the trailer park is just, I mean, I love that Terry keeps it there because it makes it stay small, and it makes it stay more intimate. And you want to grow, and you want to accept more vendors and more trucks and more people. And there's a reason why he sells out in 12 minutes, because I'm not moving it. He's like, I'm not moving it. And I think that's kind of what Sam and I have discussed with the reunion is like, no, we're going to keep it here. And if we can squeeze 700 or 750, then great. But it's so intimate that you look at what like Brothers did, for example, they really did a great job of kind of keeping it in those venues. And I know kind of Cali, LA is going to be hard to find a humongous venue, Staples Center or SoFi or some shit, but it's more intimate. It's more fun. People see the trucks, you get to break bread, and it's hard to go back.
Yep.
Yeah, you said it. That's exactly it. I love that. I love to go and show support to the if I can, the very first shows, because they will remember that, and so will you. They appreciate, us small guys coming out. They're stoked that people would, whether they're driving out, whether we're going out to, this show or that show or flying or whatever, but the support for you to go to their first show is makes it for everyone. You know what I'm saying? They remember, and so will you.
Yeah. Ace, what do you got? What's your favorite OG, and what's your, what's something new that I know you got the intervention right there. You got the slowdown. You obviously Brothers was amazing. I do think that Brothers will eventually be replaced with something, but a lot of good times.
Well, early on, I'd have to say Pismo Beach and Brothers, 2 shows I really enjoyed going to.
Mm-hmm.
The first few years, those were up and running. Yeah.
Now, and that was a good run for these guys, because it's 4 or 5+ hours to go to the Brothers, and these guys did it for I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah, quite a few.
And they were going in July.
All of them driving, you know what I'm saying? And that's
it was always in July.
Same distance
it was always a heat wave.
as Phoenix to Brothers show. It was a drive, you know what I'm saying? It was neat for those guys to pave the way and show the next generation, hey man, drive them.
Yeah, that's such a great point when you say that it's the same to get almost to Phoenix, as it is to get to Brothers and that heat wave. And that was the one thing I used to give those guys a hard time about. I was like, this is the best state of the best weather, and you guys are picking this show at the shittiest time. I remember one year I took my kids and my wife, and I can't remember, it was probably one of the last ones that are at Canyon RV, and I felt like it was 200 degrees. And this is a guy that lives in Phoenix and grew up here. And I'm just like, my wife's like, I'm never going back. And I'm like, what? And she's like, I'm never going back. And I'm like, all right. And she's just beat red, and I'm like, God, I wish they could have it at a better time, because they have such good weather. And I don't know, it was hard. I know they ran into problems with the guy that runs that park, so on and so forth. But yeah, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
All right, Kev, what's your favorite? What's your go-to?
Well, yeah, of course, that's when it all started getting big. Of course, the local shows were always fun, but the big ones, that make memories were, like everyone's been saying, our big caravans, trips to the Brothers show, because we'd all meet up and we'd all drive together, a big caravan of trucks going over the Grapevine and the free parties and the show. I mean, all the food, the people, the drinks, if you want. I mean, all that. There was awesome memories and watching. That's, like I said, meeting all the new people that are like family today. Back then, they're like family today. John Oro and all these other people that are local. That's what brings good memories, and that's what I like. And now today, and back then too, we had my son would be with us, and he got into trucks too, OG Chevy, and he has a truck of his own, and that's what made it fun. He liked going back to them shows with us as a kid, and as he was able to have his own, he picked a 68 Chevy truck C10, and he still has it. He don't drive it yet, but he's working on it, and getting the family into it, and now today, going present, I like, push the slowdown and the intervention. The slowdown, I love it. Any show on the coast, it's so great. In the summertime, growing up in the Central Valley, it's 110, and we drive over there and it's 60, 70 degrees. It's so awesome. And then, talking about the families growing, the last slowdown, my grandson drove his truck to the slowdown. And so that's how I say,
awesome.
It keeps growing, my son.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
So cool.
And he's planning, and he will be there again with his OBS step side this year. He's going to drive it again. Last year he drove it. he got his driver's license maybe a month before the show, or maybe a couple of weeks. And his dad drove with him, but let him drive all the way there and all the way back. And he loves it. He loves the C10 Club. That's why I say, that's why I love seeing other families getting into it, because I know their kids are going to get into it too, and it's an awesome hobby, and it keeps everybody out of trouble. And it's just great. I just love everything about it. I love 25 years. Yeah. Everything's grown, and it amazes me. I'm stoked about everything that's grown, and I'm stoked that it's still going on. And I love the way it's going, and let's keep it going. That's all I can say.
Exactly.
Keep it going.
Something I would just from you saying that is something that I've been, involved with. I've been the I guess the guy driving, and I've been the guy sitting. For the audience, we used to drive out to Brothers, and we had people that would come out, and Terry Hill from Square Body USA, Active Foods, obviously C10's in the park, and these guys, and there's more that would come out to Phoenix, and they would jump in with us, and we would run out there, and they just wanted to experience that. And I know 2 years ago when the slowdown was at Madonna Inn, I did that. I flew up to Sacramento and kind of right where the intervention is, and then drove with you guys and was part of that caravan with you guys. And for the audience, think about, it is a community, and it's funny because my daughter goes to college in South Carolina, and I had reached out to some guys even out there. I'm like, hey, I'm going to get her a car out there. And it's like, oh, talk to Louie and Marty. And it's so amazing that we could just reach out through social media, through C10 World, through the C10 Club. And if you guys have a show out there, and let's be cognizant of the process. But if you're like, hey, I've always wanted to go to this show, well, reach out to somebody local and go, hey, can I fly in? I'll get a room somewhere close at a hotel. And, the grand poobah of that is Mitch, right? So Mitch, obviously,
I
Mitch.
was thinking about him right when you were saying that. Yeah.
Oh my God. So Mosif, which is Mitch, our buddy Mitch out of Maryland. We're going way back, and he's just like, hey, I'm going to fly out. I want to experience Dells in California. I want to go to Brothers. I want to go to Dino's. And he would just tag along, if you will.
I remember.
Yeah. And so
take pictures. Take pictures.
So that's been 10 years of Mitch just doing that. Yeah. I can almost guarantee everybody on this pod probably had Mitch sitting in one of their seats along the way. He was always, really good about it, and it was fun.
Make him a nice guy.
He is, and I think you can do that. Now, I will tell the audience a really funny story. Now, of course, I won't disclose who it was, but we had a guy one time do that, and he rode with us to Cali for Brothers, and the guy that gave him the ride was like, no, I can't stand this guy. I'm not giving him a ride back. And I'm like, you have to give him a ride back. And he's like, nope. So I put him in Yellowstone, and I said, all right, put your ass in Yellowstone. And that son of a bitch, that guy drove single in his car back. And then we had, every seat full in my truck at the time. And I was just laughing. I'm like, I'm not going to leave this guy behind. So if you do fly out and you are lucky enough to get a seat with somebody, don't be a dumbass. Cause I think this guy was, what we call him stands, and a stand for the audience. And I don't know if you guys know this, but that stands for shit. That ain't nothing. And that's a guy that you're like, oh, I was in Vietnam. And he's like, oh shit, that ain't nothing. I blew my hand off in freaking Korea. So this guy he was a stand. He just wouldn't, every story. Oh, obviously they're called one-uppers as well. So you're either a one-upper or stand, but he almost got his ass left in Cali, and I felt so bad. I'm like, no, we're not leaving anybody behind. And the guy that gave him the ride, to this day, if I said you left him behind, he's like, F that guy. I'm not giving him a ride ever again, because he was just so pissed off about it.
That's funny. That is funny.
So some funny times. Speaking of the slowdown and the intervention, John, right around the corner, buddy.
Yes, July 20th.
Can't wait.
27th. Yeah. It looks like these guys will be there.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I'll be there to slow down. I got the family. I got the hotel ready. I got 3 passes. I got trucks, family.
What?
Let's go.
Man, I don't even get those.
I'm ready.
I bought them. Don't you worry. I stood in line. I got them. I took care of it.
So for me, let me answer that question about the best show. I mean, obviously, back in the old days, it definitely was the Brothers.
Yeah.
And you know, I think with now, every one of this, to say there's a best show that I like, there is, but you know, obviously, I'm biased to say the Slowdown, I think, has the best venue.
You are biased.
Come on, you're on the beach, Central Coast, drinking a little bit if you drink, eating a little bit because, the intervention with that street cruise, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Light up the night.
Dino's is the biggest. Dino's is the biggest. That, I think, is the homecoming. But we've got some amazing shows. The C10 Fall Revival, and I there's a little bit of kind of love for all those because I feel that they're part of it. Whether every C10 club of that state, of that area, it does it. That even the little crawfish boil, that's just a little get together. C10 Club Mississippi, Jason Politi, those guys. But there's one in Arizona, on a little parking structure that does it, and they have a theme, and I love that reunion. I love the vibe it brings, and also because I'm not working it, I can walk around and have a good time. I don't answer nobody, and just it's really nice. You know what I'm saying? I like to see the two guys that put it together get stressed out from everything, from the parking that shows up to the porta potties get put on the opposite side of it. But it's amazing, yeah. And I like a little bit of a lot of those shows for different reasons. Again, the theme with that reunion, I think it's like, for me, I think I've told you, it's like the Fast and Furious, movies but for trucks in an 80s. You know what I'm saying? It's put in an 80s, 90s, and a theme with the music. And at that time, Arizona, it's got the great weather. It's just neat. It's neat to come in and see all that, and the way that it's just all of them have grown to be themselves. You know what I'm saying? But again, Dino's Get Down, the biggest. The big cat knows how to put on a show, and he's the draw to that. You know what I'm saying? The reunion's got a theme and it's got its own thing. You're going there to have a good time, but the big draw is the big cat on the other one, and everyone wants to be part of it, and that's why you get 9,800, 12,000, 14,000 trucks.
Wow. And I've never really thought about the way you said it, because I do think that, you and I probably go to the most shows. I mean, there's probably, although Jen and Todd go to a lot of shows, give them a shout out
they put on the great event over there. C10's, on the Capitol. Come on.
Yeah, C10's on the Capitol. I still need to get that one checked off. But what's crazy is I never really thought about it and what you're saying. And for the audience, you have so much variety with the C10 Fall Revival, kind of working our way east to west. You've got the C10 Fall Revival and what they do out there, and that fun and that October. And then you work your way, I probably, I love the reunion. I love it is stressful, but I always do tell Terry the C10's in the park I just love it. I love that he keeps it small and that we get to go to the downtown and break bread and listen to live music. And
that was so much fun.
Exactly. But then when you talk about like the crawfish, and you think about that's at his house still. And then you think about the light up the night and how the city of Woodland is letting you, I mean, for the audience, whether you're new to this scene or not, and you remember, but the intervention was in like a baseball field. And now they've been able to prove to the city of Woodland, hey, we're going to it used to be in Auburn. Now it's in Woodland. We're going to shut this street down. And it does give you kind of a little bit of a Mayberry. We're taking it back. And there really is no better venue than the Slowdown, because it's hot as F. And then you go over the hill, and then you come down and you're like, oh, and it went from 92 degrees, which you think isn't that hot, but it's kind of hot. And then all of a sudden you're at 78 degrees when you come over the mountain into San Luis Obispo. So there's a reason why it's $500 a night to get a room there, because I mean, it's such a great place to be.
That's Oprah Winfrey country, just so for you guys that know. And if anybody is going, I would recommend to bring a hoodie and maybe bring some pants. I don't care if it's 118 in Modesto with the C10 compadres, but yeah, it gets a little chilly if you're not used to it, especially if you're coming in from 120, 121. You know what I'm saying?
Unbelievable. When you're driving from Arizona and you go over the hill through Indio when it's 118 and you're like, I'm not going to pack pants or a long sleeve shirt or a hoodie, and you get to San Luis Obispo, you are going to want a hoodie at night. And we sat outside and ate, and I wish I would have had pants as well as a long sleeve shirt because it does. But it's so nice. So, and what we did for the audience, whether or not you realize it or not, is we got a hotel last year. We got a hotel a little bit further, and listening to Rene and Ace and Kevin and drive your shit, get 4 or 5 buddies, trailer if you want, if it's really far, and get a cheaper hotel, and then make a fun drive up PCH. We did that last year, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was like 2 hours in the 805 Club, and we had tacos.
805 Club,
yeah, it was unbelievable. It was a lot of fun. Okay,
and that's another thing about the club is that they're so welcoming that you could just reach out, slide in their DMs on their social media and say, I'm coming into town. And hey, what are you guys doing? They'll tell you what they're doing, and they just love, just like anyone that we're into this stuff, that we follow each other on social media. They welcome us in and they take us in, and it's really, really good people. And man, those 805 C10 Club guys, man, I almost wish that I could have come back and done that trip because that looked like so much fun, over there with Shadow Man's Garage, all those guys, the whole family.
All that stuff.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. The Shadow Man puts it on. We had a great time. And then one show that John and I were able to experience, and I want to give shout out to it because I had probably close to the funnest time, was going to the cruise to the Pines, which is I like to call the run to Rio Doso. But I talked John, poor John. He was supposed to fly into El Chuco and then go with Alex. And I said, dude, come with us to Phoenix. You've got Dino, Big Ten Garage, Jason, and there was a handful of Sam and Chad and Travis from AZ Pro. And I'm like, hey, and Soul Prince, and we're gonna drive up over the mountain. And boy, did we have a good time. I mean, it was like 5 or 6 trucks. Now Dino broke down, unfortunately, but it was such a so the smaller little runs are really starting to they're starting to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, keep it simple. So, all right, let's take it out. We've got amazing shows coming up. We're so blessed. 25 years. What would you guys say? What's something you want to see, you want to accomplish, you want to buy, you want to build, whatever it is in the next 5 years? Kevin, you start. Nothing? You want to keep it the same? It doesn't matter. There's
Kevin's
no wrong
almost
answer.
done with his.
There's no wrong answer.
Kevin. Uh-oh.
We lost
Kevin
him.
Go?
We lost
I
Kevin.
think he's LS swapping his blazer.
He is. He
Okay.
he didn't pay his cricket bills.
For me, my Suburban is what I have, and I will be not doing any builds for the next 5 years because I'm retired now. I'm 71 this year. I got my baby, my Burb, and that's it. Me and my Burb.
Me and my Burb. That's
me and my Burb. That's
and
it.
how good does that feel, right?
No more builds. Those days are over for this kid.
But what do you
No
think
more builds,
about
no more builds.
what do you think about maybe no more builds, but do you have a show, maybe just a destination? When I had Yellowstone, I really did. I was very close. I always wanted to drive it to Yellowstone and take the family. Do you have a trip that you'd like to go?
Yeah. No, not really. I just mainly want to stay in the California shows myself.
Yeah, keep it
I'm
simple.
not really
You got
going out of state right now.
All right.
I've got some. I don't want to get into it, but got some health issues I deal with, so the long trips traveling isn't my cup of tea right now.
Yeah, I get it. Rene, what do you got? You in
I'll
5
be
years?
doing slow down and intervention and all that good stuff.
Okay, well, we'll see you there. Those are two kick-ass shows. Rene, besides flipping, 6 trucks a month, what else are you trying to do? Rene, do you have a truck that's on your bucket list that you've never had?
Funny you should ask me that, Ronnie, because I never really thought about it. Like people say, what will be our next truck? You know what? I don't know until I find it. So it's nothing that, I'm fortunate. I have a Blazer. I have, my Jimmy, my Golden Ticket. I have the Retro Blaze. I've had the Yellow Blazer. I had actually a couple of other ones. So I really don't have a bucket list, but tomorrow I might buy something totally different. I never know till I find it.
I think you've already gone through your bucket list.
Well, what would you say? Okay,
that's buy a station wagon.
Hey, Ace, that's perfect. You just nailed it. So if you already went and bought your bucket list, tell me one truck that you want back.
It's a wagon.
Man. Only one?
Call a wagon.
Only one.
Should I tell 167 to 72, 160
No,
to 66?
it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. One truck, one car, one anything. You get it back. Which one car in your lifetime do you wish you still had in the stable that you did not sell, trade, barter, whatever?
Everybody's probably expecting he's going to say Gumby. I can narrow it down to two, okay? And one is the blue and white Cheyenne Super that I used to have.
Yep.
Beautiful truck.
That was a beautiful truck.
Yes.
I just loved everything. I was, because I've heard Ace talk like this. Oh, my Suburban's perfect. I fit in it perfect. I drive it. It drives itself. And that was me with the blue and white one. Even though I only had it for maybe 3 years, unfortunately, everybody knows I'm a money whore. That 3 years was perfect. Perfect. I turned the key. It was a nice truck, and I just sat in it perfect. I drove in it perfect and handled perfect. I liked everything about it. And the other one was the yellow Blazer that I had, because that wasn't perfect. It was a driver. It was so dependable, and there's nothing like going topless to one of these functions. Once you see the stars at nighttime, oh my God, there's nothing like having a topless vehicle, whether it's a convertible car or a Blazer, because, we're pickup people. But that yellow Blazer, nice. They had a lot of little flaws, but I could drive it and have fun. So it'd probably be one or the two. And it probably, if I had to narrow it down to one, it'd probably be the yellow Blazer. Plus, Kevin liked the pinstripe on it.
The eyelashes.
The eyelashes.
That's right.
I don't know.
I remember the
if you
eyelashes.
remember the flames on it, if you remember the flames, I had blue flames. It was the yellow Blazer with the blue flames.
Oh, yeah.
They started the flames like right over the headlights, and they looked like eyelashes.
Well, you call it yellow, but
crazy.
I don't know that I'd call that. It's kind of a sublime green. I don't even know. It was kind of I guess it's kind of that grapefruit yellow.
Yeah, grapefruit yellow.
Yeah,
Not to be, mistaken with the Retro Blaze, which is, Mountain Dew green,
Yeah, or okra,
green.
baby shit yellow. I mean, the
Yeah,
first
baby
time
shit
I
yellow,
interviewed
yeah.
you were episode number 5, I think, and you're every other,
That's right.
baby shit yellow, baby shit yellow, baby shit yellow. I mean, and just so you know, I wrote this down, but that was November 28th of 2014 when the pod dropped. But we interviewed you like November 11th because that was at the hotel. Rene was like, "What are you taking me to a hotel to molest me? What's happening here?"
Hojo.
Yeah,
no, not the Hojo. That was at the Get
the
Down.
Goose.
Yeah, the goose.
Oh my
Goose.
goodness.
So yeah, that's been 10 years. Pretty crazy. John, what do you got? What's your 5-year plan? I mean, I know we know the prom queen's looking for a new fender. Did you find one?
Not yet. I think everyone that I've seen is a little worse than the one I got. But yeah, so for the ones that don't know, it got into a little fender bender from the front of the fender to the back. So she's going to be going under the knife. When's this going to drop?
I don't know. Next week. When do you have a limitation on?
No. I don't want to say, hey, we're give out.
Well, I thought you posted it. I thought you posted that it got in a wreck.
No, it did. But dude, 50, maybe 57, 50. It was crazy with this insurance company. So just so you guys know, man, do not deal with Fiesta Insurance. It's ridiculous. Some of these $1-a-day insurance is crazy, and I got to give out a lot. If it wasn't for my buddy Chase, out there at C10 Club, head of state for Utah, if it wasn't for his help in getting involved, and he reached out to me as soon as he saw that post. I was trying to handle it myself and go back and forth, but once they gave me the runaround, he came in, and man, it's probably close to 60 phone calls, emails, and correspondence with everyone from the adjuster to the actual president of the company.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy, and
Damn.
to the point where he had to lay down the law, and he's good. And so we just closed that up. So it'll be going in. I think we're going to be doing just a little nip and tuck. So expect Prom Queen 4.0. You know what I'm saying? And for me, as far as anything that I'm building in the future, obviously put this Prom Queen back together, and then maybe hopefully be able to help out my grandson do something. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna need a lot of advice and a lot of stuff to do, but I it seems that he's interested. And in fact, since this is gonna come out after Wednesday here, we're getting ready to take a drive. Me and him, we're taking John. So John is his dad, so it's my son, my oldest son, and we're taking his square body. And me and Damien did this trip last year in the Prom Queen. This year we're taking John's truck because the Prom Queen's out of commission. So we're going to take his truck, and Damien's working on getting, his driver's license. So I told him, hey, listen, yeah, you're going to get most of your hours on the way up and on the way back. So 1,600 miles round trip to Salt Lake City to go see our friend, our friend Chase.
Drive it.
And yeah, exactly. We had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of memories. I think Rene will be joining us. I'm looking forward to hanging out with those guys and giving Chase a big old hug and a kiss for all the help he gave me. And super good people. And again, it's the people. Ronnie,
right.
Man, I don't know.
No, it really is.
That you have, it's the people. The medal does bring us together, but it's the people that bring us back, coming for more.
Yeah, I mean, I just dropped that episode with Ricky and Ellie, and damn, they met through cars, and they're just absolutely young and in love, and I love it, and I love it. They found each other, and
I
it's
love
just
to see that generation. Such a good dude.
yeah,
good people.
yeah. And he was on the forum, which is so crazy.
Yeah. How old was he? Was he young, man?
God, he must have been very, very.
He was
mid.
14, 15 on the forum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
14, 15.
What a good kid. What a great kid for sure. So yeah, that's episode 289. This will be episode 290. We're going to get this out. You've got the slow coming up. You've got so Chase's thing is going to be
intervention.
You got the intervention, but so Chase has got a little tribute for the 25 years, and that's going to be the 21st Salt Lake City at the Capitol, 6 to 9 p.m. for you guys that if you're looking to get an autograph from John or Rene, they'll be down there. 25-year anniversary of the C10 Club, and this is what it's all about. Now, did you have another bomb?
And they said it wouldn't last.
Yeah. Hey, you've probably heard of us. That's the quote of it. You've probably heard of us.
Yeah.
John, did you have another bomb to drop, or I know you said there was going to be a big announcement.
Yeah. It'll drop on that day too, but it's fine. You know what? With all these states and reps and areas that we've done, obviously in California, we don't just have one C10 Club California. We've got the Los Angeles, we got the Compadres, we got the 805, we've got San Diego, we've got a lot.
Worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide, exactly.
That's right.
What it is. Canada.
Yep.
So you name it. And obviously, I do want to mention again, this wouldn't have been possible without everyone that's there. Ruben, he is my sergeant at arms. Ruben Salazar that runs C10 Club Texas. But you know what? It was time to also bring in some guys that are from different areas that want to be part of it, but not necessarily be a specific state. So we've got C10 Club Nomads. C10 Club Nomads, we just gave them the green light. That'll be run by the two brothers out of Las Vegas. That's Big L and Rich, which they do the how's it going? I'm sure, Ronnie, you know the guys.
How we do it.
How we do it. Oh, look at that.
I think that's what it is. How we do it. Big Homie Custom, Rich and L. How we do it. I think it's how we do it. So they're going to be the C10 Club Nomad.
How we get down.
Oh yeah, how we get down.
How we get down. So yeah, that's little bro Rich and L, the Big Homie Custom. Good guys. They've been hitting me up, and I could not find any better guys to start that, and they'll come in and they move around. Their line of work moves them around a little bit. So they're out of Vegas. but they've got another place out in Prescott, as the locals say it.
Mm-hmm.
So good guys, and I'm super glad because they want to be part of it, but the way we broke it down for them, it's like, hey man, you guys do your thing. I think it's time for that. And if you want to reach out to them, they'll be kind of doing a lot of stuff in the beginning and doing their own thing, as if you will, as just like anybody else. So I'm looking forward to it. They're actually going to be in Utah. They're going up as well.
Is there a social going to be C10 Club Nomad? Do you know?
C10 Club Nomad. I've had that, on the back burner for a while, so they'll have that. But they'll also be doing their big homie custom and then the how we get down on the both pages. So once they get all that,
okay,
it'll be good.
It'll be great. Awesome.
It's always good to bring good people on board, to be honest.
There really is a lot of good people. So Ace, you got one job, and that's to get a hold of Kevin, make sure he's still doing okay. And then Rene, make sure you get a hold of Ace that he got a hold of Kevin. And
okay.
Yeah, let's take it out. I appreciate your guys' time. I appreciate you guys starting this thing 25 years ago.
I'm okay, everybody.
Oh, you're back, Kevin?
Okay, I was getting worried.
I didn't even know he was back.
Somehow my face hit the mute button.
Oh
I was talking away, but nobody heard me.
He was yelling
I was
the whole
talking
time.
away, nobody was listening.
We were sitting there like,
man, I was going, man, they're talking over me. What's going on? I looked at my phone. The mute was on.
We didn't even know. Oh, he's like, why didn't he ask me what shows I want to go to and what I want to do?
No, man.
We thought,
that's how I rate.
we thought you were like you were missing in action. I thought your phone died. Man,
you were asking me what I want to do in the future, and I was telling you right now I'm trying to finish a 68 C10 fleet side that I'm trying to finish up. And I don't think it'll make it to any of the big shows this year. I'd like to be at the intervention and debut it, but I'd be pushing it. But if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
But it'll probably be done by the end of this year. But that's my what I'm looking forward to. And after that build's done, then I'm going back on a 63 Bel Air wagon that I bought for my wife. I sold her last one, or she sold it. So that one's been on the back burner. It was a good home. I said I can't work on two at once. So I go, when this one's done, then I'll work on the next one. So I don't like doing more projects at one time because I got customer cars I got to work on also. So
that's right.
I'm blessed to be able to build one of my own. I'm lucky to build one of my own and work on other people's. So.
And I think I saw that
that's
at your shop last year. Awesome, the 68 was the 68 in the shop last year.
Yes, you've seen it.
It's been there for 12 years, 15 years. How many years, Kevin?
Yeah, it's been when I rented that shop. It came with me from another shop where I was working at. It belonged to my best friend Mark V. Cochino's Alley, and he had his big plans for it, but through the years he lost interest, and he always told everybody wanted to buy it. It's Cherry 68 C10, and he always told everyone, if I ever sell it.
Mark's another early C10 Club member also.
Yes, yeah, he's an original C10 Club. Cochino's Alley. He's one of the originally.
Mark V and Mark G.
We got, and Mark Garcia also.
Yeah, Mark G.
Mark V had the truck, and he always told everyone, if I sell it, I'm going to sell it to Kevin. And when the day came, he sold it to me, and that's why I'm building it, and that's why, hence the name Cochino 68.
Oh,
nice. I
Yeah.
remember seeing it. It's a stunner for sure. Don't let Johnny G see it from Johnny G's Customs. Anything baby blue, man. He's anything blue. He's on it. But I remember seeing it. So, Kev, so you're gonna work on that. You're getting that one ready. Another guy, just to kind of throw that out there, that I always remember being part of your guys' group is Surfer Bob. He's always with you guys.
Oh yeah, brother Bob.
Yeah, Spicoli.
Yeah,
Yes,
Spicoli.
sir. I consider him an OG Sencal member.
Yes.
So
Dude, Bob.
Yes. When we all started getting together here in the Central Valley, he was one of the first ones. He was at all of the early get-togethers at Rene's house. And
Him
we
and his wife
actually didn't.
Shelly, they're a big part.
Yes, Shelly, Hawaiian Princess. We didn't actually meet her till years later. We met Surfer Bob first, and they're a big part of our family. We love them.
Yeah, good guy.
Exactly.
Okay,
Great guy.
Fire off your IGs. I mean, obviously I know them, but I don't want to misspell Kev's Classic 64 and the C10 King, the OG. I got my account back, so I think most everybody knows Oro's, but C10 Club and AKA John Oro, C10 King. He got his OG back. Kev, yours is. Go ahead with yours.
Kev's /Classic 64.
Okay, and is 64 like an old Impala you had, or how did you come up with 64?
Yeah. I've had my first vehicle. I've had since 1978 a 64 Impala convertible Super Sport, and I still have it to this day. So, like I said, I was in lowrider clubs, and that was my first car, and we have great memories of that with our hydraulic days. And but now we still have it. It's airbag now, but you can't play with the hydraulics. But I still got that itch in me to throw some switches in it.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Ace, what's yours?
I'm just C10 Ace.
Okay, C10 Ace.
That's my handle. Yeah.
All right, the
it
OG.
used to be, it used to be 70s porn star.
I've had my Suburban since 1989 when I first bought it. It was our family wagon, taking the kids to the coast and back. And then in 96, I tore it down and restored it in 99.
Yeah, what a fun.
I drive my ship. Yeah, so
I'm looking forward to that. Starting to break down some of these trucks and tear them down, and life is good. And we're blessed. We're lucky to have you guys, some founding members, some of the OGs that were, when you think about the OG classics, they'll be signing autographs on June 21st. And I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank you for keeping.
Thank you, Ronnie.
You got it.
And that's one thing I want to take the. And give you a thank you, because you provide the platform for us as well to grow. Just like all these kids that are slanging shirts and doing all that. Hey, man, we're coming up on 10 years of C10 Talk, and I'll bet you there's no, yeah.
Hey,
I'm glad you did listen to the other guys and continue to do this podcast, because it's been great. Made tons of friends, family members, and it's super cool. Always, love your perspective, and I love the way you guide this pod ship. You know what I'm saying? I dig it, Ronnie, and thank you. You're a big part of this C10 Club.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate that. And it is funny that we are. If you told me 10 years ago I'd be 10 years and 300 podcasts and the friends and relationships and shows that we went to, I probably wouldn't believe you for sure. So yeah, thank you guys, and it's a fun journey.
Awesome, Ronnie.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you so much, Ronnie.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Ronnie.
Thank you, Rene.
Are cool, but Ronnie's cooler.
Hey, John, what was your count on Renee's over under? 26?
Oh, you went way over, dude.
You lost count. All right, for you guys out there, remember, no rules, no dues. If you want to be part of the C10 Club, you don't even have to have a C10. You just got to be a good dude or dudette or a young lad that wants to get into it. You'd be surprised at how inviting these guys will be. And,
yes, please reach out.
Yeah, reach out, hit up a show, slide into somebody's DMs. If you're listening, if you know somebody who wants to get a truck, just get them out to a show. Once they get to a show, they're going to want to get a truck. Unfortunately, the trucks are much more than they used to be, but what isn't, right? I mean, a candy bar is more, a house is more, a gallon of gas is more, but life is still fun, so find something that you love and you're passionate about, and I guarantee you that you'll be captivated and you'll love the people just as much as you might love the trucks. And come on out, break bread, break a beer if you're over 21, or maybe if you're 19, I'll still slip you one. Depends. And
sounds good.
My kids are like, Dad, I got a fake ID. All right, I'm gonna take you guys out. Have a great night. Thank you guys for your time. Thanks for what you do.
Ronnie, thank you for your time, buddy.
You got it. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Did you make it to the end? Hell yeah. I hope everybody had a good Father's Day. I didn't say that on the intro. I know I did. Actually, mostly just chilling with the family. A little pool time, bike rides, some barbecuing. Life's good. So, hope you guys all had a great Father's Day. Appreciate you making it to the end. Appreciate you tuning in. And until the next one, jump back, get yourself caught up, and I'll be back in a week or two with another one. All right, guys. Late.